rise. Is there any objection to summarization? Is there any objection? Seeing none, please proceed with summarization, sir.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The bill is simple. It's actually a similar mechanism that we introduced in the Environment Committee. As a lot of folks know, we still have, for the last 20 or almost over 30 years now, a bottle bill program which actually captures about $27 million in its cheats. What that means is unclaimed bottle deposits, the nickels that people pay when they buy a glass or a glass container or a plastic container, and the nickel that they don't redeem by turning it in. Because of the way the funding mechanism has been structured in the last 30-some-odd years, that money sits fallow, sits in a pot, and then the state grabs it. It's called a bottle bill as cheat. It comes back to the state. Last year, we got about $27 million in bottle bill as cheats. The entire idea of the bottle bill and the deposits was to prompt sound environmental behavior, was to prompt recycling, was to prompt good environmental stewardship. But unfortunately, what's happened with that bottle bill money is it gets swept into the general fund and, in this case, used to fund public elections. It goes primarily to the CEP fund. So what this amendment seeks to do is to take $4 million of that $27-ish million a year that is just found money in the state. This isn't budgeted money. This is citizens' money sitting in a fund that doesn't get used, and then the state grabs it. Take $4 million of those bottle bill deposits and recreate the park sustainability account that the original bill had and fund it every year with the $4 million that are not going to get taken by or pile up for the bottle bill deposits. Basically what I'm trying to do, what I think we all ought to do, what I think folks would, especially state park users and enthusiasts want to see, is let's use environmental dollars for environmental purposes. Let's protect parks, not politicians. It's a simple use of funds that were meant to do a positive thing for our environment and our state. So, again, what the amendment does is exactly that. It reestablishes the park sustainability account. It grabs $4 million every year out of the bottle bill deposit fund. It decreases by the same amount, $4 million a year, in what goes into the Citizens Elections Program, and it also decreases by 40% the grants of the Citizens Election Program. So what you end up getting, and we have a fiscal note on it, you can look at the fiscal note, you have a fiscal note that is actually revenue positive to the state. It's actually revenue positive to the state, and we get to fund our state parks. At least partially fund them. Get it a nucleus of funds, $4 million a year. The state, right around now, we're spending about $12 million a year, but it gets a nucleus of funds, a sustainable level of funding to start on. And then we could fund it the rest through the normal budget process. So a 40% reduction in the grant, what does that mean? So for state reps like us, instead of getting $26,000 a year of our citizens' money to run for office, we get $15,600 a year. I don't know about y'all, but I think I could run for my seat for $15,000. For a senator who gets about $95,000 a year, they're going to get $57,000 for an election year. The governor, instead of $6.5 million, the reduction, he'd get $3.9 million, just under $4 million. So what do? Instead of protecting politicians, we're going to fund state parks. Environmental dollars for environmental purposes. So, and you know, just by way of high altitude numbers, we spent over $33 million in the last major in 2014 election. $33 million funding elections. By just nipping off a little bit of that, or 40% of it, I guess that's not a little bit, but nipping off enough of it, we can actually fund our state parks. So Madam Speaker, that's the bill. That's its purpose. I move adoption, and when the vote be taken, I ask it be taken by roll.
The question